Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today is the update for my pan those eyeshadows. So in pan those eyeshadows, you try to hit pan in eyeshadows. I am using the spreadsheet that Makeup with Laney made. She is linked down below, as well as the spreadsheet. And I'm trying to hit a pan for every prompt that is in that spreadsheet. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. Well, not the project. Oh my gosh, what is going on in the sky? Can you hear that? So I've been doing this project for longer, but I've been using the spreadsheet for almost 2 years now. I currently have 36 options still. And we're gonna check out what I've been working on this last month and perhaps what is rolling out. Who knows? So I'm going to start with the shadow that has been in the longest and work my way up. So the shadow that has been in the longest is for the prompt shadow from your least favorite palette. I picked the Beauty Bay Love Notes palette. It's not per se my least favorite palette, but I've just not been using this. I don't think I have a least favorite palette. There's just some palettes that I barely touch, and this is one of them. So I picked a shade out of here. And I picked the shade Bellini, and Bellini is right here, a shimmery pink. And as you can see, I was able to hit pan in this shadow. Beauty Bay shadows are not very deep pans, so they're fairly easy to hit pan on, especially the shimmers. I'm gonna check my uses. So I previously used this shadow 3 times and I needed to use it 7 more to hit this pan. So 10 uses total. So this one is rolling out. Then the next shadow is a shadow that starts with V. Now I originally was working on a different shadow. I rolled this one in 2 months ago because the first shadow that I picked for starts with V was not good quality. So I rolled in my ColourPop Miss Bliss palette and I'm working on the shade Vibrant Thing. I had previously used that 8 times. I used it 3 more to hit this pan. It is a tiny pan. This is a satin and I do not like the satins out of any palette, but ColourPop does them quite a bit. So I'm happy that I hit this pan and I can roll it out. Then we are looking into my Beauty Bay Brights palette. I have 3 shadows that I'm working on from this palette. Let's start with this one first. Starts with S. I was working on the shade Satin, and Satin is right here in the corner. I mean, I'm gonna try and let it focus on the shadow. I have not used this at all. I do not care for it. So I'm gonna actually switch this out, but I'll get back to that in a second. The next shadow is Orange Shadow Matte. So I'm working on the shade Fire, which is right here. You can see a dip starting to form. I was really hoping that I could hit pan on this, but I'm not quite there yet. I'm wearing it today. I've toned it down with a different shadow from this project that we're gonna check out in a second. And then I've put a different shimmer over top of it so it's not super brightly orange. I've done orange looks last month a lot. I do love orange, but I'm kind of getting over it. It is perfect for October though, so I'm pretty sure I will get my use out of this until I hit pan. I have now used this 9 times so far. And then the last shadow out of this palette is for starts with K, and I'm working on the shade Kale. And Kale is right here. You can probably see the dip that is starting to form. I have been mainly using this as a liner. I'm wearing it as a liner today and I have used that 5 times so far. It is whatever. I'm gonna just continue to do orange and green looks in October. Perfect, very pumpkin inspired, I guess. So I'm pretty sure I can hit pan on that. hopefully within next month. And then the last shadow that I was in was for Starts With You, and I'm working on a shade for my Aura and Out palette from Colourpop, and it is the shade You're a Vision. And this is what that shadow looks like. This is another one of the satin shadows, and I do not like it. I've used this 13 times. I just try to throw it in every look. It is not very opaque. It is very, very subtle yellow with random glitters. So I can throw this all over my lid and then top it with something and not have it show. Today I actually put it over the orange to kind of tone the orange down and then put on another shimmer. I don't like it. I don't like the satin formula that Colourpop does. It just makes no sense to me to do they're very, very powdery mattes with glitters in them. They're just weird. But I do not really have any other shadow with Starting With You that I want to work on. There's one from Colourpop from my Lizzie McGuire palette. It's a peachy pink. I've done so many of those. It's basically the same as this shadow here, that one that I've just hit pan on without the glitters. I don't want to work on a shade like that, so I'm just gonna go and power through this one. Like I said, it's very, very powdery, so I'm hoping that I can hit pan next month and then roll it out. There is a Colourpop declutter on my list to film. I'm definitely pretty much surely gonna get rid of all of those satin shadows because I just don't like them. But for this one, I'm just gonna keep it in. Fingers crossed that I can hit pan in another month and be done with it. So first up, I want to switch out a shadow, that satin shade from my Beauty Bay Rides palette. I'm gonna switch it out for the shade Sneakers that is also in this palette. That is a white. I know that's gonna be so easy, but I just don't want to be working on this pink. I just don't. So I'm gonna be switching it out for this shadow right here. I have been dipping into it to highlight underneath my brow or in my inner corners. So I'm pretty sure I can hit pan on this quite easily. I don't know if I can do it in 1 month, but we shall see. I just don't want to have that pink in here. So that's the first. And then we're gonna roll 2 new prompts. And you will bet your ass that I will probably roll a prompt like roll in a pink or something. So I'll still have to work on a pink, but we shall see. Let's remove the prompts that I've already completed now. So we have 34 options. I'm gonna roll 2 and then I'll pick my shadows. So the first one is going to be Orange Shadow Matte. Oh, we're already working on that. Should have blocked the ones that I'm already working on out, but I didn't. Pan Graveyard. So that's something that I previously tried to hit pan on, but I failed. And then the next one is going to be Shadow That Starts With You. Okay, we already have that. What are the odds that I roll twice for something that I already am working on? Shadow from your favorite palette. Okay, so I'm gonna pick my shadows and I will be right back. Okay, that was very quick. I've selected 2 shadows from 1 palette, actually. So Pan Graveyard, something I tried to hit pan on, but I didn't. I really had to check my notes from previous updates from Pamela's eyeshadows to see if there were shadows that I had in this project and I did not hit pan on. There's not a lot. There were some, but those shadows have been decluttered since. So I found 2 options. One was a pink. What did I say? So I'm not gonna roll that in. I'm gonna roll in a shadow from my Peacock Feathers palette by Mikey Beauty Shop. I love this palette. And this also has the next shadow in there because this, I would say, is my favorite palette of this moment. Really love it. I'm actually wearing a shadow out of this palette today. I'm wearing this shade right here, which is called Bird of Paradise, all over my lid, all over that orange, and it's stunning. I love it. So anyway, the shadow that I had in a project that I did not manage to pan on is this one right here, called Lady Peacock. This is a green shimmer, and I thought it would be perfect to pair with that dark green that I'm using now, the Kale shade. So I could do green glittery lining. Or if I'm feeling brave, something green all over the lid. Who knows? So I'm rolling that shadow in for Pan Graveyard. And then a shadow from my favorite palette. Something out of here. I'm gonna take the easy way out. I've been loving the shadow. So I've been loving this palette, but I've been loving the shadow and I have not yet hit pan on it. And it is the shadow right here called Blue Cloak. You can see that dip. It is insane. Pretty sure I hit pan very soon. So it might even take me 1 or 2 uses to hit pan on this. But this pairs perfectly with my ColourPop Prance eyeliner. And I still have quite a few uses to go on that. Any day that I'm using that in my waterline, this is on my lower lash line. So I'm using it anyway. If I hit pan, chances are I will still get more uses on it because I have to use that pencil eyeliner still. And then I may be able to expand the pen. Or maybe I'm not even close. I don't know. We shall see. So these 2 shadows are rolling into the project. Oh, let me swatch everything. Wait a minute. Okay, so here is my color story and my disgusting fingers from swatching. Here we have Sneakers from the Beauty Bay Brides palette that I switched out. Here is Fire from that same palette and Kale from that same palette. Then we have Eurovision from the ColourPop Or Now palette. That's Stupid Satin. And then here is Lady Peacock and what is that called? The Blue from the Peacock Feathers palette. Look at that shimmer, that is stunning. That will pair so nicely with this dark green, so I'm sure I will get some use out of that. And this time around, I will try to hit pan. So that is the color story for this month. Honestly, like apart from this weird yellow and that blue, this is very, very autumn heavy. Autumn heavy? It's very appropriate for the season, I think. So I'm sure I'll do some cute looks. Who knows? We shall see. And I'll try to hit some pans. So this was it for my update. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and, oh my gosh, these green fingers. And I will hopefully see you in one of my next videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.